It's just kind of crazy how a veteran player is almost afraid of losing his job because these rookies are really showing out, and we got to talk about it. And we're going to be talking about Saquon Barkley as well. Can he reach 2,000 yards in his second year with the Philadelphia Eagles? And do the Eagles have to kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit with Saquon Barkley? We're going to talk about it, so let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Hope everyone is doing well, getting closer to the weekend, closer to OTAs. We got mini camp early next month, and then we have training camp in the middle of July. So we're the time is going to get there really quick, but we want to enjoy our summer too. But we have a lot to discuss here. Now, we haven't really talked about the rookies in a while, okay? And we're going to be talking about Jordan Mailata's press conference he had because he stated a lot of things. Now, if you guys don't know, like some of the times, players do hook up, during the off season to work out and do some things. And Mailata has done that with some of the younger guys, because Mailata is just so invested, not only one of the top players getting paid at a high level right now, but at left tackle. But, for a guy that didn't know football and was drafted in the, sixth, seventh round and became what he is today, for a guy that's never played the sport, is pretty amazing. So shout out to Jeff Stalin for that. But Jordan Mailata, being as grateful as he is, he did talk about the rookies and Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams, okay, that these guys are really showing, even in some of the workouts, not only from the physical aspect of them too, but from a mental standpoint as well, and how smart they are. He pretty much said, look, like if they're coming to take my job. If they beat me out of my job, then they beat me out of my job. It doesn't stop me from helping them, but I'm not going to make it easy for them to take my job. Competition in training camp, these are things that you get excited for in the off-season program. He's like, we're not even in full pads yet, and these guys are really showing. And that's really good to hear. It's really good to hear from veteran guys like that, okay? This draft, I think, is going to look even better a couple years down the road. I think potentially. Now, if you hit guys in the mid rounds to the late rounds, whether they're starters or whether they're rotational guys still getting playing time in season, I think a rotational guy is still a hit in a draft regardless. Okay. So obviously your first and second round pick and Jahad Campbell and Makuba are awesome. Your fourth round pick and Ty Robinson. And I think, future wise, Lane Johnson's only got one more year after this year. That's it. He got extended 1 year into 26. And after that 26 season, Miles Hinton from Michigan becomes the new right tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's almost a mirror of Jason Peters from an athletic standpoint, a pulling standpoint, pancaking people. He's got really good technique. He's got size. He's got metrics. He's got everything you want. It's just really pulling all that skill set out of him. And that's where Jeff Stoutland comes in. And that's where these players come in to really help the process. Okay, Jordan Mailata even said, like, look, like, this ain't no dictatorship. I'm not just going to not tell him things and not show him the ropes. I'm always going to be there to help him, whether I'm a starter or whether someone beats me out of my job. Like, we don't do that selfish stuff around here. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it word by word, but that's pretty much what he said at the press conference, and you have to give a lot of respect in that. Darius Slay took Quinyon Mitchell under his wing, and look what he just look what happened. You know what I mean? Same thing with Cooper DeJean. As a position group, the group gets a lot of respect because it's not just about Jordan Mailata at left tackle and that's it. It's about everybody. If you're a starter, you're playing one position. If you're a backup, you're knowing more than one position, and hopefully you could play both of those positions well in Jeff Stoutland's room, and that's really what it's about at the end of the day. You have Cameron Williams, that's a 6th-round pick for this team from Texas and has played a lot of left and right tackle, and I think that's another draft hit that could possibly be. I mean, he could be the swing tackle for this team going forward. So realistically, from this 25 draft, I think you hit on Jahad Campbell, you hit on Makuba, you hit on Ty Robinson, and I think you'll hit on a couple of these tackles. I think Drew Kendall will be another one that's the backup center that can play a little bit of guard, and I'm excited for him. So, I mean, look, in my book, when it comes to a draft, you hit on at least two. If you could hit on like at least two guys, I'll be happy. You should hit on 3. If the Eagles can at least hit on 3 every single draft, I mean, that's great. And potentially in a couple of years, they might hit on 5 guys from this draft, whether you're a starter or a rotational guy or a role player, doesn't matter what you are. So I really like those words from Jordan Mailata. It really gives me a sense of how every veteran kind of takes these rookies under their wing and how they're treated. Jordan Mailata's never going to put a rookie down or put a younger guy, a younger year guy down just because they are who they are and he's above them. Like there's none of that going on. And I really like that there's none of that going on because that's great. So I think that's important for this draft. This is important for the culture aspect of this team. And yeah, it was really cool just to hear that. And I kind of want to share that a little bit. Saquon Barkley, he was on the Exciting Mike's podcast, this Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship's podcast. And it was kind of talking about going to this year and, coming off a 2,000-yard season, like how does your body feel coming out off of that? Okay, going to your second year. And, I think part of it was, he didn't start running until he didn't start doing nothing until like a few weeks after the Super Bowl. It took a long break, and you do a lot of running like that. Even during the season, he was pretty damn healthy. There was a couple times in a couple games he was like limping a little bit, and we started to get a little nervous at times. But he was fine. You know what I mean? So when you run for that much, and I think the big part of it is that he's not getting hit a lot in the backfield. That's been the big thing. The why he was hurt on the New York Giants, getting hit in the backfield. Like he always had to get ready for a hurdle. He always had to get ready for a jump cut, anything like that. He's always ready for that first hit coming in the backfield with the New York Giants. And the more you get hit, the more injuries are going to happen. He's had a few pretty good ones, and good as in bad. Now coming to the Eagles is an entirely different story. Now, like as a running back in Philadelphia, if you keep your body right, off the field, like potentially, like you won't have big injuries because Saquon Barkley doesn't get hit until he gets to the second level. And that's taking less hits with a better offensive line in front of you. Yeah. Like Saquon Barkley's good, but this offensive line is good too. The offensive line gets a lot of credit. 2,000 yards with obviously the regular season and playoffs. I mean, that's a huge achievement. No other player has done that. And I don't think the Eagles will take their foot off the gas with him, even with A.J. Dillon. And if they're keeping a third running back on the active roster, we'll see what happens on the competition there. Saquon Barkley could just sit in the backfield, take the Super Bowl for an example. Like, when there's a defense out there that's literally selling their whole defense out for Saquon Barkley to defend him and him only, you're going to have man-on-man coverage across the board, and Jalen Hurts is going to have a field day with his tight ends and receivers. So there's just so much more value with Saquon Barkley, not only when he gets the ball, but even when he doesn't get the ball, because, you got receivers. You have potentially, they have 2 number ones and potentially a number one that could be an easy 2 for the Eagles, a 2 or a 1 for the Eagles and Jahan Dotson. You know what I mean? So it puts that man on man across the board, and teams are going to sell out for this run because that's what the Eagles are really good at, and they respect that offensive line a lot too. And that's pretty much where we're at. It's gonna be tough, man. I want to see like if this actually happens. And realistically, I'm not gonna be like praying for him to get 2,000 yards. If he gets it, great. If he gets 14, 1,500, I'm not really gonna care. Like, great, you know what I mean? Like, this is a yellow jacket type player that you have on your team right now. That will be in the history books, and I think he could pull up. I think he can actually pull off this 2,000 yards next year. I think it's very possible in a lot of ways. So. We'll see what happens, but that's pretty much my views on Saquon Barkley. I think they're going to do the same thing that they have been doing. And obviously, if Saquon Barkley is hurting or his body's kind of going through some stuff, then he'll say something. But I think he's taking care of his body. From the sounds of it, he's taking care of his body pretty well going to his second year off a 2,000-yard season, which is kind of nuts, man. So a lot to look forward to with him, but that's pretty much about it. Let me know what you guys think about Saquon Barkley. Less than 2,000 or more than 2,000. I want to hear you guys in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, because we cover the Eagles every single day as usual, and liking it actually helps out the channel tremendously. You guys have a fantastic day. I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.